Good evening, and welcome to another edition of In Relation to Both Teams. It's your boy Big D. I was actually supposed to make this last night. I totally forgot about it. So my bad. So, this week, Eagles, Denver Broncos on Sunday. Eagles will be wearing black on Sunday, which kind of worries me because we do play like shit wearing them, for the most part. But that's not what we're talking about. The event that relates to both the Eagles and Denver, you pretty much know where I'm going with this. This was another one in recent history. Yup. I'm talking about the year we let this guy walk. Oh, yeah, I got hot sauce on it. Yeah, I just had to eat chicken before I made this. I just had to eat chicken while I was wearing it. Not very smart. I'll clean it later. So yeah, the Eagles let Brian Dawkins walk, which is one of the dumbest ideas I've ever seen. Now, before I go into full detail about it, one thing I want to confess is I wasn't exactly the one that came up with the series In Relation to Both Teams. I wasn't actually the creator of it. Believe it or not, back in 2013 when the Eagles faced the Broncos, we got slaughtered that game. It was actually conceived by Bakersfield fan who shall not be named. That video will be down in the description box. I just hope he doesn't flag this vid. But, alright. So yeah, as we all know, Brian Dawkins had a career year in 2008 with the Eagles. I mean, I believe we were one of the top three defenses in the league. I believe we were ranked number 3 behind Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I believe Pittsburgh was number 1. Let's see. Let's look at his full stats. He was number 20. He played 16 games. He started 16 games. He had an interception. He was not really known for his interceptions. He was mainly known for his hard hits, like I've said once before. And that interception was for 25 yards. That one was against the Cardinals. He's defended 6 passes. He's forced 6 fumbles, including recovering his own versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. There was one that he forced. I believe one was on Romo, and it was recovered by Chris Clemens for a touchdown. And then another one was recovered by Joselio Hansen for a touchdown in that 44-6 victory over the Cowboys. And he had 3 sacks. And rightfully so, earned a trip to the Pro Bowl. And then there was speculation on whether we were going to keep him and all that. I mean, there were a lot of talks. There were a lot of talks of us maybe keeping him, maybe not keeping him. Oh, he had 64 tackles, including 11 assisted, and he averaged 11. Yeah, there was speculation floating around after we lost to Arizona in one of the most heartbreaking fashion I've ever seen. And then I remember I went to this bar known as the Rail. And we were watching sports. We were watching Sports Center, I believe, and I was looking up on the TV, like right above my head. You know how like when you go to a bar, you're like standing right here. You're sitting at the bar, and then you look up, and the TV's like right above you. Like when the TV's like right above your face. I looked up all the way up, and then it said Brian Dawkins signs 5-year contract with the Broncos, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I was fucking livid when that shit happened. I'm like, are you... words cannot express how fucking mad I was. I was pissed. And rightfully so. One of the dumbest decisions we ever made. And I believe the excuse was, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the excuse was that the reason they let Brian Dawkins go is because... One source said it was because Denver offered more money. Dawkins initially went with that, and when he realized what he had done, it was too late. And then another excuse as to why we let him walk is because he was getting up there in age. When as a matter of fact, he made 2 more Pro Bowls since then. Let's look at his 2009 season. He started all 16 games. Had 2 interceptions. No, they were interception. He didn't really go anywhere. He had 11 passes deflected, 1 forced fumble, 3 fumble recoveries, 95 tackles, and 21 assisted tackles, and averaged 10. So, he actually did better his next year than he did his final year with Philly. And he also picked McNabb off in the Pro Bowl. Not that that really means anything, but it's just something to mention. In 2010, he didn't really do shit. He only played 11 games. He still had a pick for -2 yards. 2 passes deflected, 2 forced fumbles, 2 sacks, 55 tackles, and 11 assisted tackles, and averaged 3. So, yeah, he did kind of regress by 2010. But in 2011, his final year, he played 14 games, started 2, deflected 7 passes, forced 1 fumble, still had 3 sacks, 38 tackles, 13 assisted. He averaged 6. And then by 2012, on April 23rd, 2012, Dawkins announced on Twitter that he was retiring from the NFL. 5 days later, he called up Jeffrey Lurie. He said, "Yo, I'm going to retire as an Eagle." And his number was officially retired in Week 3 versus the Giants. No, it was Week 4 versus the Giants. My bad. And there you go. That's basically the history lesson here. Although, I was very pissed off that this shit happened. Although, when you say that it's a dumb decision when letting Brian Dawkins walk, when you say that it was a dumb decision, especially to an older Eagles fan, more often than not, they're always going to bring up Reggie White. Because that was another dumb decision we made. And keep in mind that during those years in Philly, we didn't really find a good replacement for Brian Dawkins until 2014. I mean, we had Sean Jones, Macho Victor Harris, Nate Allen, that fucking bum. We took him over Cam Chancellor. Kirk Coleman, who we took over. Who did we take him over? We might have taken him over Cam Chancellor too. And I believe we took him over another guy. Kirk Coleman and Nate Allen, those 2 bums. Patrick Chung, who didn't do shit. And in 2014, it came down to Jarius Byrd and Malcolm Jenkins, and we ultimately went with Malcolm Jenkins. Okay, we let Brian Dawkins walk in 2009. 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It took us 6 years to find a replacement. And I'm pretty sure it also took 6 years to find a replacement for Reggie White. I believe we would... let me look it up. We let Reggie White go in 1993. We let Reggie White go in 1993. I'm not going to go in full detail about it because that'll probably be in relation to both teams for the Packers. Oops. Accidentally spoiled it. Sorry. Let's see. Let's look up Hugh Douglas. Yeah, Hugh Douglas joined in 1998. We let Reggie White go in 1993, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. 6 years also. So, 2 times we let a big name go, and it takes us 6 years to find a replacement. I'm so glad we finally have a good safety tandem. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Like the vid, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Let's go Eagles. Let's get this W. Let's go into the bye 8-1. Let's beat the Denver Broncos.